Hello and welcome. This is Susan Lopresti. I'm so excited to have you here with me today. For those of you who don't know me, if we haven't yet met, again, my name is Susan Lopresti, and I absolutely love supporting people who are motivated to improve their health. And I'm motivated to help you remove compromises from your life so that you can experience and achieve all of your goals and your aspirations. My mission in life is to give midlife women the tools necessary to transition into this wonderful time of life easily and effortlessly so that they can live long, healthy, happy, productive lives for many years to come. And I help women to stay healthy through many different healing modalities besides just the food on our plate. Health is holistic. And I like to get to the root cause of someone's issue instead of just putting a Band-Aid on the symptoms. So let's get started, because today I want to talk about environmental toxins and how they affect your health. And so let's clarify first what I mean by the environment. And when discussing environmental toxins, the term environment refers to everything in our surroundings outside of the body. So not what's in the body, but around the body. While environmental issues often refer to nature, that is just one aspect to consider when we're discussing environmental toxins. Where are environmental toxins found? And you may be surprised to learn that environmental toxins are more widespread than pollution and pesticides. In fact, we unwittingly come into contact with these dangerous chemicals through cosmetics and also food additives. Because of the constant exposure to environmental toxins, more and more people are suffering from chronic diseases. These illnesses leave them in a nearly continuous state of exhaustion, mental fogginess, anxiety, physical pain, and many other symptoms. So if you have any of those symptoms that I just mentioned, I really want you to pay attention to this presentation, because quite possibly this presentation is for you. So let's look at how toxins are impacting your health. We are all taught from a very young age that toxic chemicals are harmful. What you may not understand is how they impact your health. So first, let's talk about the endocrine system. The endocrine system is a collection of glands that produce hormones that regulate metabolism, growth and development, tissue function, sexual function, reproduction, sleep, mood, among other things. Our class of toxins can be described as endocrine disruptors. According to the Environmental Working Group, there is no end to the tricks that endocrine disruptors can play on our bodies. Some dangers of endocrine disruptors include increasing or decreasing the production of certain hormones, imitating hormones, turning one hormone into another, interfering with hormone signaling, also signaling cells to die prematurely, and competing with essential nutrients, also binding to essential hormones, accumulating in organs that produce hormones. The result of hormone disruption. The list of diseases caused by endocrine disruptors is continually growing. Endocrine disruptors can be linked to attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, which is ADHD, and a lot of young children have that today. Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's disease, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, obesity, early puberty, reproductive disorders, and childhood and adult cancers. Now you see the seriousness of these toxins. From dangerous and cancerous tumors to congenital disabilities and other developmental disorders, endocrine disrupting toxins can impact any system in the body controlled by hormones. Knowing that hormones are responsible for all major aspects of health, from sleep to metabolism, it's crucial to limit exposure to endocrine disrupting toxins. Let's take a look at some common toxins and how to reduce your exposure to them. We're going to start by looking at toxin number 1, which is BPA. And you may have heard of BPA. It's the first toxin on our list, and it is BPA for short, bisphenol A. I'm not even sure I'm saying it correctly. BPA is an industrial chemical that has been used to make certain plastics and resin since the 1960s. So we're talking 60 years already. For example, polycarbonate plastics contain BPA and are often used in containers that store canned food and beverages, such as water bottles, which everyone drinks out of a water bottle these days, but I do not. I have this, it's BPA free. BPA is a synthetic hormone that imitates estrogen in the body, interfering with reproduction. The Environmental Working Group has reported that BPA has been linked to everything from breast and other cancers to reproductive problems, obesity, early puberty, and heart disease. And according to government tests, 93% of Americans have BPA in their bodies. How could they not? One is drinking water out of plastic bottles. I'm totally against it for what it does for our body and how it's affecting our planet as well. But that's my own personal opinion. I know that it's convenient when people come over to hand them a bottle of water. I prefer to use a water filter. Anyway, that's Susan. According to the Center for Disease Control, people are commonly exposed to low levels of BPA when they consume food or water that has been stored in containers made with this chemical. It really is all around us. Avoiding BPA exposure. Now, I'm not saying that it's easy, but it can really be done. Exposure to BPA can be challenging because it's so prevalent in the environment. But here are some tips that can help you to minimize exposure. So look for a BPA-free label on foods and also packaging. You may want to do that. Avoid plastics marked with a PC for polycarbonate or recycling label number 7. Buy and store foods in stainless steel or glass. Don't use plastics. Use fresh, frozen, or dried products. Avoid microwaving foods in plastic containers. I have done away with my microwave entirely. Do not wash plastic containers in the dishwasher or use harsh detergents on them. And choose wooden toys instead of plastic toys when you're buying toys for young children. Toxin number 2 is phthalates. Phthalates are a group of chemicals used to make plastics more flexible and harder to break. They are commonly found in plastic containers, children's toys, and also makeup products. Our bodies have a signaling system to program cells to die as part of normal health. And according to the Environmental Working Group, studies have shown that chemicals called phthalates can trigger what's known as that death-inducing signaling, making them die earlier than they should. And studies have also linked phthalates to hormone changes, lower sperm count, less mobile sperm, congenital disabilities in the male reproductive system, obesity, diabetes, and thyroid irregularities. We want to look at how we could avoid phthalates, and they're in so many different things. And to reduce exposure to phthalates, start by avoiding those plastic food containers, children's toys that are made out of plastic, plastic wrap made from PVC, which has the recycling label number 3. It's important to read cosmetic and personal care product labels very, very carefully. Avoid products that simply list added fragrance, since this catch-all terms sometimes mean hitting phthalates. And I'm going to put some links in the show notes where you could look up how your own products rate according to this group. You'll see that in the show notes. I'm going to put a couple of notes in there. Toxin number 3 are heavy metals, and heavy metals are trace amounts of heavy metals that naturally exist in our body. However, increased exposure can pose significant health threats. Lead and mercury are the most frequently causes of heavy metal poisoning. Lead and mercury are most frequently causes of heavy metal poisoning. Lead can lead to neurological, gastrointestinal, kidney, and bone marrow toxicity and neurodevelopmental defects. Mercury poisoning can be marked by headaches, low back pain, weakness, fatigue, tremors, and hallucinations. Pregnant women are the most at risk from the toxic effects of mercury, since the metal is known to concentrate in the fetal brain and can interfere with brain development. Sources of lead include paint and gasoline, while mercury sources include dental and medical equipment, fertilizers, pesticides, amalgam fillings, and seafood. We really need to be careful with that. And that's why when I recommend eating seafood, which I do eat seafood, I absolutely love it, but it's always wild caught. So tips for reducing lead and mercury. To reduce your exposure to lead, find out when your home was built. If it was before 1978, woodwork or other surfaces could be covered with lead paint. So call an expert if you wish to remove lead paint. Don't try to do it yourself. A good water filter can also reduce your exposure to lead in drinking water, and also beware of tuna, which can contain high levels of mercury. Eat seafood lower on the food chain, and if you take a fish oil supplement, be sure to purchase a brand with a reputation for purity. Additionally, if you have amalgam fillings in your mouth, discuss with your dentist whether you would benefit to remove them. Make sure that your dentist is committed to following safe protocols for amalgam filling removal. You want to be careful with that. And then toxin number 4, glycol ethers. Glycol ethers are commonly used in household cleaning products, cosmetics, and paints. The problem with this toxin is that it can damage fertility, it can lead to congenital disabilities, and worsen allergies and asthma. To avoid this toxin, look for natural cleaning alternatives or use such things as white vinegar, and avoid products with ingredients such as 2-butoxin ethanol and methodiaxyl. So EGBE and DEGME. That's the way they'll be written. To avoid this toxin, look for natural alternative cleaners. You can use white vinegar or natural products. Now we're going to go on to toxin number 5, which is radon. And radon is an odorless and also tasteless radioactive gas that's produced from the decay of uranium, which exists in rocks and soil. It can be found in homes, particularly in basements and other areas in contact with the ground. You won't know whether it is in your home unless you test for it, and it's worth testing for. Next to smoking, radon is the second most frequent cause of lung cancer. To reduce radon exposure, seal floors and walls, increase underwater ventilation and overall ventilation, close the basement off from the rest of the house, and have your water tested through a drinking water testing laboratory. Radon can be removed through treatment technologies such as aeration and granular activated carbon. And then we're going to go on to toxin number 6, which is fire retardants. There are more than 75 types of, it's called brominated flame retardants, or BFRs for short, and they're used commercially, from natural fiber to household furniture to plastics. Unfortunately, they do not stick to the materials, but they filter into your environment. Shockingly, numerous studies have reported high levels of fire retardants found in breast milk. According to the Environmental Working Group, this incredibly persistent chemical, known as polybrominated diphenyl ethers, or PBDEs, have since been found to contaminate the bodies of people and wildlife around the globe. Even polar bears are affected by this. The problem is that these chemicals can imitate and disrupt thyroid hormones in our body. And common sources include paint, textiles, paper, furniture, mattresses, electronics, office equipment, and carpet padding. Let's look at some ways to reduce that. And tips for reducing it include purchase furniture and mattresses made from natural organic materials. Get rid of plastics that include foam made before 2005. Invest in a HEPA sealed vacuum cleaner, which traps toxins when you use it. Avoid using a broom. It just stirs dust and accumulated toxins into the air. And limit the amount of meat that you consume. Poultry and red meat contain high levels of BFRs. Toxin number 7 is organophosphates. And organic phosphates is produced initially for chemical warfare during World War II. Today, these chemicals are the main components of herbicides, pesticides, and insecticides because they target the nervous system of insects. Despite being classified as a societal health and environmental concern, agriculture use as pesticides on fruits and vegetables is still permitted. Organophosphates are also used in mosquito abatement and public spaces. And many studies have linked organophosphates exposure to adverse effects on brain development, behavior, and fertility. Ways that we could avoid organophosphates is to buy organic produce. The Environmental Working Group publishes a shopper's guide to pesticides in produce, which can help you find the fruits and vegetables that have the fewest pesticides residues. And you can check that out. And I'll put the link in the show notes where you could find that. Toxin number 8, particle pollution. Our final toxin is particle pollution, and particle pollution can range from dust, mold, and fungus particles to chemical compounds from fuel emissions. The number one source of air pollution in many cities is automobile emissions. However, the landscaping industry accounts for up to 10% of air pollution in the United States. The gas leaf blower has been identified as one of the worst offenders, depositing 30% of its raw gasoline back into the air. Countless studies have been done on the effects of particle pollution on health. Common effects include wheezing and coughing, shortness of breath, lung tissue swelling, which can contribute to the development of heart and lung disease, asthma attacks, and also lung cancer. Let's look at ways to avoid particle pollution because we're surrounded by air at all times, right? We need air to breathe, and it can be difficult to remove pollutants from our environment. So some steps that you can take to reduce particle pollution include swapping gas-powered lawnmowers, leaf blowers, and weed whackers for electrical ones. Taking public transportation or carpool whenever possible to lessen your contribution to environmental pollution. Checking fuel burning furnaces, hot water heaters, and gas ranges in your home annually to make sure that exhaust systems are adequate. Preventing mold from growing in your home by monitoring humidity levels, especially in your basement and bathrooms, and addressing water-stained areas. Anytime that you see a water-stained area, you want to search for mold. The bottom line here is that environmental toxins are downright dangerous. Ongoing research findings report their ability to feed cancer cells, interfere with glucose and cholesterol metabolism, and induce insulin resistance. Environmental toxins have also been identified as a culprit for obesity through multiple mechanisms, including inflammation, oxidative stress, mitochondrial injury, altered thyroid metabolism, and impaired central appetite regulation. It is crucial to know your level of risk when it comes to environmental toxic exposure. Take these steps, and I'm going to list a couple of them. The best way to protect yourself and your health from environmental toxins is to take the following steps and precautions. Maximize your phytonutrient intake by eating whole real foods, especially veggies like broccoli, bok choy, kale, Brussels sprouts, foods high in antioxidants like dark green leafy veggies and berries, as well as garlic and onions. They could all help your body to detoxify. You want to avoid plastics at all costs. This can be tricky as we've become a society that's heavily reliant on plastic. And it's true, we really are. But use stainless steel water bottles and glass containers, also for storing leftover food, drinking water. Instead of buying water in plastic bottles, install a water filter in your home. Detox your home with natural, simple products. Try making your own cleaning and body care products. And for homemade all-purpose cleaner, you may want to try 3/4 cup of hydrogen peroxide, a 1/2 cup of distilled white vinegar, 1 teaspoon of unscented liquid Castile soap, 10 drops of tea tree oil or melaleuca oil, 20 drops of lavender essential oil, and 2 cups of water. And that makes a great cleaning product. Also, exercise or hit the sauna. The more you sweat, the more toxins you can remove from your body. Look for a gym that has an infrared sauna or a place where you could go regularly and have a sauna. Also, take high quality supplements to support detoxification. Look for multivitamins containing zinc, vitamin C, and also vitamin B complex. And then I also want to tell you that if you have any questions about where I got any of this information from, I have all my resources written down. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I am very happy to share my resources with you. And lastly, I just want to take a moment to talk to you about a wellness company that I've been shopping at for the last 22 years. It's an online wellness company that manufactures all of its own products right here in the good old USA. And they ship direct to consumer. So it's from manufacturer direct to consumer. And what that does is it saves time and money and cuts out the middleman, which is the big supermarkets that it gets shipped to. Direct to consumer saves the consumer money because I'm buying the products directly from the manufacturer at wholesale prices. Now, if it goes to the supermarket, The supermarket is buying at the wholesale price, and then they put a markup on that product, and the markup is usually over 55%. I would rather be paying wholesale prices for all the products that I use regularly than to go to a supermarket and buy the products retail. And in the supermarket, they're not safe, non-toxic products. They contain all of the ingredients that I've just been talking about. So what types of products am I talking about from this wellness company? You may be asking yourself right now. Think personal care products. That includes bath and body, dental care, hair care, shampoos, all your conditioners, hairsprays, dry shampoo, hand soap and sanitizer, sunscreen products, baby care products, also acne prevention, cleaning and laundry products, so everything that you clean your kitchen with, your glass cleaners, bathroom cleaners, all laundry products, so all of the laundry products have no toxic chemicals in them. You can get a whitener, which is not Clorox, but they use a fabulous ingredients in there that gets your clothes really, really white. Your laundry detergents are great, and also the fabric softeners, beauty products such as premium skincare, cosmetics, and fragrances. Also, the best supplements that I have ever taken, healthy foods and drinks, medicines and treatments, home fragrances, and they also have a fabulous full line of high quality essential oils. And all these products are safe for you, your family, and the environment. So if you're interested in getting any additional information about the company that I have been shopping from for the last 22 years, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm happy to share that information with you. I would like to thank you so much for joining me here today. I know that I gave you a lot of information to think about. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me with any questions that you may have. You could always visit my website, www.susanlopresti.com. You could also email me at susan@susanlopresti.com. I'd be happy to answer any other questions that you may have. Again, thank you so much for joining me here today. I hope that I added some value to your day and your wellness journey. And until the next time, bye for now. Take good care, everyone.